Of course, I'm mad because I'm always angry, you know? Here, I'm gonna get this quick one about prostitutes and, um, drug addicts. I get so pissed all the time, is because they don't care about their names. So I'm always watching, like, videos about, serial killers, things like that, and they always use, like, they're gonna use sex workers. They're not, oh my gosh, and like people who are addicted to a drug or some drugs, and they're getting murdered, and they don't care that much about them. Because if you have the, cops, whatever you call that, there's people will just call sex workers as just prostitutes. Okay? So now you're going to say prostitute, prostitution. So that's interesting. Okay? Now we're going to look over here. Construction workers. Yeah, okay. Sorry. Remember, it's my brain from the surgery last year. But you're going to have, construction workers. We don't just say construct. We don't call them, only just those things. You're going to say that's their job. Okay? Construction workers. That's part of the thing, and we know that person doesn't just live there, okay? So now they're going over here as prostitutes, as just, that's the only thing they have about that person, okay? They don't care about what type of life they are, because when they, just like serial killers, they only use them, okay? So when you're having, like, people interviewing, cops, all these types of people, they barely care about those women's names. Okay, so they'll give them the age, they'll give the names. So, okay, that's good, but they really just care that they're part of their numbers of that serial killer. And I get so pissed because some people just call them prostitutes. And I'm like, as if that's just the only thing, And so we have lots of things going on with tons of stuff, okay? There's not just woman, like, okay, number one, let's remember you can say an escort, So you could say, what do we say? Woman escort, escorter. No, yeah, right, escort. And so that one's a little easier to say that that's just them at that time. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm just irritated about. Okay. Exotic things. Yeah, there's tons of stuff. And so, I don't know. Let's remember that each of those women do more than that. Okay, if you have, yeah, I get people who are addicted to the drugs, but they don't just do that. Is that the only thing they do? Especially with sex workers, that's not just the only thing they do. It's not 100% that, like, they're not going to be for sure wanting to do that their whole life. They enjoy it, sure. Enjoy it, but each of those people still has other parts as that person that they are. And so don't just call girls prostitutes. You can just say she was murdered and she has a name. Why don't you go look a little bit about if she has friends, things like that. And so when they finally do that, that's more honest and it's more respectful, because people really hate it every time. And they just say, oh my goodness. As if, and that's the other thing that pisses me off, is that, as if, nah. Look, for women who are sex workers, they're going to call them mostly as clients. And other than that, what do they even say with men who use that? You know? Because I feel like that's what we just use as clients. And so with that, it's not just, just prostitution. That's what Jay just said. Just say sex workers. It just pisses me off every time. And then there's one time when I was watching an interview. He's a cop, maybe a sheriff or I don't know, whatever. And he goes, so he'll say that prostitutes that should have pimps because they protect them. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, if we're gonna, okay, wow. To remember about pimps, then they use her as a product. And so she doesn't just get her own money, like she is a part of his money and she gets an allowance. And so to say that is like that's your protection, your protector. No, that's not what it is. And he can beat the crap out of any of his products whenever, as long as she is alive, so that he can have that living product. So those women, he doesn't care how she feels. She just wants to use that money. Okay. So to say that's a protector, that's disgusting. And so, obviously I'm mad all the time. And, don't just call her as just a prostitute. Just say, can you even just say her name? You know? You can even just say, oh, Jesus. Can you just say she's a sex worker and then use her name when that happens? You know? And then they're going to say, here's another thing. You can just put her name, a sex worker, then goes to rest of it as her, murder. You know what I mean? It pisses me off every time. Just call her by her name. And now I sound like that that movie, but call her by her name. Seriously, that really, it pisses me off all the time. There's a lot of things that I'm pissed about, a lot of things, just because they need to respect women. And then it's like, they're respecting women. I'm like, they murder her they're murdering these women all the time, and you're just gonna be like, we already respect women. They murder them, okay? So what the fuck are you doing about? It's disgusting. And especially with serial killers, because with sex workers, like they meet with different type of clients, because I mean, that's just a part of the job, you know. And so for that, that's easier for them to get them into it. And so the serial killers will use sex workers because they have a lot of clients, and so they can use them and, you know, do that. So what else, you know? That's why they're gonna, like a certain type of people can like abduct homeless people, types like that. Like, geez, you don't even know. Like, I don't know why people don't call women as just prostitutes. Don't just call her as addicts. You know, can you say addicted woman? You know, I don't know. Actually, you can comment that one, because I would like to see. Yeah, give me anything that's like more open about, like, honest stuff that's more respectful, because geez, I would love to respect as many people as I can, okay? And so, there's so many things about women, and they're like, what do we even say? That's okay. Yeah. All I know is we say clients, audience, that's types of things. So, okay. Comment also really disrespectful stuff to the men who pay for women. So why don't we call them, as those clients, give them something really disrespectful for them to do it. What do we call them? I don't know. I really don't know. Comment on that one, because it's so bad. You know what I mean? I hate when they just say prostitute, because they hardly say her name. And so, geez, we already know if I'm going over there on a video on these women, they'll say prostitute, prostitute, prostitute. And we're like, we already know. That's the clear thing with all of them, okay? If it's a serial killer, can either get into their lives, There's killers where they, like, sneak into them. And then there's other types that, like, just get girls to come into that. And so, then here's this other idea I was thinking about. I don't know that women and sex workers do this anymore with, like, on the street. If you do, buddy team. Okay, I can't remember my brain, but yeah, buddy team. Where if you've got two sex workers and one of the girls is going in, take half the money with your friend. She'll hold on to it so that she has that person's identity. You know who that is. You know the license, and you know which girl is about to get victimed at, maybe. So she's over there. That's going to be actually more safe than a pimp or anything. And so if you're doing that, maybe they're good friends onto that, which is very good for that. I mean, to be open about that. So just use that if you want to. But a lot of things are more on, internet most times. And so a lot of times with, escorts, then usually most use GPS, a double phone, there's things like that. So there's not just prostitutes, they're people, they're humans, and they're women. And, of course, for all of those murders, there are victims. So just, my goodness, that's a lot of things. Survivors victims if they pass away. Survivors if that they live. Okay? So try and be respectful as much as we can, because those are really, really crappy. And, okay. Let's just be more respectful, because what would sex work even have without it to happen? You know what I mean? There's always going to be sex working. So, sex work, it's important. And it's always going to be a service, that's the way it is. What are you going to do without it? It's always through history. Okay. Respect anyone. So, respect.